Hi everyone, are you ready for the second video? If you haven't watched the first one, please go back. You had better watch it before and then come back. Okay, everyone is ready? Let's begin. Relative clauses and non-defining relative clauses. Non-defining relative clauses give us extra information about someone or something. Defining gives us essential information, but non-defining gives us extra information. It isn't essential for understanding who or what we are talking about. Because at the beginning, I'll say that my sister. Everyone knows my sister. And then I'll give extra information. But in defining one, we'll say that the woman, the girl. But in non-defining part, we'll say that Helen. We'll say that San Francisco, like that. We usually use a relative pronoun to start a non-defining relative clause, such as who, which, whose, when, or where, whom also, but not that, not that. We can't use that in non-defining part, but with defining, we can use, but it is non-defining, we can't use that. We also use commas to separate the clause from the rest of the sentence. You'll see, you'll understand better by looking at the examples. We can't drop the relative pronoun in this kind of clause. Do you remember object position in defining relative clause? Sometimes, we omit who, but here we can't drop the relative pronoun. Again, you'll understand by looking at the examples. Who, which, and whose. I'll give information about them in a short. Look at here. We can use who to talk about people. If the sentence begins like that, the woman, the man, and I can use who because person. Which, we can use which to talk about things, animals, okay, and we can use whose to refer to the person or thing that something belongs to. Whose, I can use, person, her. I can use whose. Thing, for example, building, its. If the second part begins with its, I will choose whose. If I'm talking about an animal, if I say that again, its tail, again, I'll choose whose. We'll understand better by looking at the examples as I said before. Tom lives in San Francisco. His dad works for Apple. Again, we have two sentences. I want to combine them. Of course, I won't use full stop, you know this. And I won't use something in this sentence. Look, Tom. I'm talking about Tom because his dad. I'm saying his dad. So I won't use his. Instead of his, I'll choose whose because it shows possession, And here, Tom lives in San Francisco. Let's begin to do. Tom, comma, whose dad works for Apple again, comma, and then lives in San Francisco. It gives us extra information because Tom, and special name, we know Tom. So, extra information, whose dad works for Apple. Don't forget to put comma here. Second one, my job is very stressful now. It used to be relaxing. I'm talking about my job. In the second sentence, which part refers to my job? This part? That part? What about this? It, my job. So I won't use this part, my friends. Look at here. My job. This is think, which. I'll use which. Okay, let's go on. My job, which used to be relaxing, comma and comma, is very stressful now. This is my main sentence, you know. And here, my grandfather goes swimming every day. Second sentence will give information about a person or thing or place in the first sentence. So he is. I'm talking about my grandfather. Okay, my grandfather. So we'll say that my grandfather who. If here is his, I will say that my grandfather whose. But here is not his, he. So it is who. My grandfather, who is 87, goes swimming every day, comma and comma. Last one. Here is question. Of course, it is possible. Do you know Uludağ University? My teacher was a student there. So, look at here. There. I said that if you see there, please use where. Great. Everyone remembers. So, let's look at the answer. Do you know Uludağ University, comma, where my teacher was a student? In defining clauses, defining relative clauses, we generally say that I can't forget the place, I remember the place, but which place, we don't know. So, we can't use comma there. But here, Uludağ University, we know this university, it is certain, it is clear. So, comma, and it is the end of the sentence. We use here question mark. Now, I'll give some information about the usage of which and whom. In fact, in our book, you are not supposed to know this information. I just give you this. Just listen, and with the help of exercises, you'll understand what I mean. Here, our students made us happy. All of them got good marks. We are not saying they. We are saying all of them, some of them, most of them, none of them. If you see this, if this part, students, person, please use whom. Like that. All of whom. Okay? All of whom. But if you see this part, animal or thing, you will use which. Let's look at here. Our students, all of whom got good marks, made us happy. Again, I'm using commas here. Look at the second one. I have 20 cows. Some of them can give 30 liters of milk a day. Again, some of them. And it refers to cows. So animal, it should be, some of which. Look, I have 20 cows, some of which can give 30 liters of milk a day. What about the third? My parents, father and mother, so person, earn enough money. Neither of them work at the weekend. So I'm talking about person. I will choose whom. So my parents, comma, neither of whom work at the weekend, earn enough money. If you say that, teacher, why we use comma? And I'll say that my parents, father and mother. Whose father and mother? My father and mother. So it is certain. That's why it is extra information. Okay? This part is so important, vital for you. Let's look at here. Defining or non-defining. My friends, we can use who for people, and who is used in both defining and non-defining. What about which? Animals and things, it is used, and it is also used in defining and non-defining. What about that? It is so important. It is used for people, animals, things, because that is used instead of who and which in defining part. But defining only. If you see comma, You can't use that. Be careful. Whose? It has possessive meaning. We know this because when we see his, her, its, their, we prefer whose. It is used for people, animals, and also things, and it is used in defining part and non-defining part. What about whom? We use whom if the who is object position, okay? Instead of who, we use it if the relative pronoun is in the object position. So, it is used in defining and non-defining. Also, if you see some of, none of, neither of, please choose whom, if it is person, of course. And this is the last part, defining relative clause. Let's look at the meaning of it. People are confused. This is our sentence. And I'm asking you, which people? I don't know. People are confused. The meaning of the sentence isn't clear. I don't understand which people. So look at the relative part. People who have been asked lots of questions at the same time are confused. So, do I need this sentence? Of course, because if I don't use this sentence, I can't understand the meaning. People are confused. This sentence makes sense. So, I need this sentence. If you omit this sentence, I can't understand the sentence. So, it is defining relative clause. It is essential. What about non-defining relative clause? My dog is called Caramel. And my dog, I have a dog, and my dog, I'm talking about this. Meaning is clear. I don't need any extra sentence here. But if I use, it gives extra information. Let's look at the sentence. My dog, which I found on the street, is called Caramel. It gives extra information for you. So I use comma. If I omit this from the sentence, it makes sense. My dog is called Caramel. But if I add it, it gives extra information. Okay, it is the end of this video. I hope everyone has understood well. My friends, we will send some exercises to you. So, if you don't understand, please let us know. Thanks for listening to me.